the commonly quoted like 2.9% plus 30 cents or whatever it is, that's being split up among a number of parties, Visa being one, but bank being another, and merchant bank being another.
Yeah.
And then you touch on the fraud stuff as well, and having to, if you're a large merchant, maybe hiring a fraud prevention team, or using all this fraud software that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Having all these additional risks, and then the cash lag of like waiting however many days to receive your payment. If you can bundle all that together, what do you think the actual, like, can you bring it down to a number? Like, how much are people losing on every transaction? What is that friction? Is it more than 3% if you bundle all the things together?
Oh yeah.
What do you think a good estimate is for that number?
I mean, I can like kind of just like walk you through like the tooling and things, but I would estimate at the end of the day, as a merchant that accepts Bitcoin frictionlessly and perfectly, and like it's amazing, and then also being a merchant that has implemented, the ability to process a Visa card or MasterCard payment, we tack on, like, it's pretty straightforward. We're a rewards company. We offer you, 10% back if you buy an Uber card with us with Bitcoin. However, if you pay with a credit card, we drop that number down to something like, 5.5%. So just right off the top, there you go. There's 4.5% rewards that, we're taking back because, one, I'm paying, an extra 3% interchange. I'm paying for fraud prevention tools. I'm paying for well, really, it's myself right now, like going in and analyzing all these transactions. Like we get hit with fraud and chargebacks. So just like opening these things up to, the credit card networks, I would say like it's upwards of 6 or 7% that I have to factor in when I accept a Visa card transaction. Not to mention, the delayed settlement, which like I won't put a number on that. But at the very least, you can just like go into our app and see, like, the second you switch your payment method from Lightning or on-chain to credit cards, like your rewards typically drop around 4.5%. And I don't think that actually probably covers everything. Like our fraud prevention tool per month has like a fee of $2,500 or something. And so depending on your volumes, you can kind of like, average that out over a bunch of transactions. But, that's not accounting for the human time. Like anytime you actually get hit with a chargeback, it's really bad. And it's like, it's really not straightforward. The reason, I wish I could just put a number on it. The way like gateways charge you is like this interchange plus models. When you get hit, like if you're actually processing card transactions, like you should see these end of month statements. These, everyone is a rent seeker. It's not just Visa sitting in the middle. It's the issuing bank, the person on your card. It's the issuer processor, like the actual card processing network that's working with that bank. And then there's a merchant bank and a merchant processor. Sometimes there's a gateway. Again, there's fraud tooling. Banks, like they figure out how to get their money on top of everything. And then, there's chargebacks and there's probably 7 or 8 middlemen here, and they all make their money by like kind of convoluting how much you're paying for everything. And so I think like that this whole industry has built itself on top of like barriers to entry and making things not very transparent. Like, when I get my credit card statement at the end of the month, or like how much we've processed, like I'm kind of just hoping they're, paying me out for everything I'm due. Like if I went line item by line item for everything we're charged, that would be all I do. So it's kind of a ridiculous industry, and it just shows, like there's just layers upon layers of friction, and the consumer does end up paying for that. You see these merchants that say 5% off if you pay with cash. These are the ones who are at least forward thinking enough to know, like, I don't want to deal with Amex and MasterCard and Visa. They're the ones like trying to incentivize consumers to perform a behavior, aka like paying cash, paying a physical bearer asset that makes their life easy. And this is the same model. Like because of all that friction, Bitcoin really is set up to kind of like come in and win here. And I think what that means is the merchants will process payments for less, and they can actually pay that back to their end user. We've yet to really see that happen in too many kind of like mainstream, you don't go into Target and pay 3% less when you pay with Bitcoin. But I do think that's probably the end game. That probably is how merchants start pushing users to paying with either cash or Bitcoin, like these bearer assets that really work better for them.